Thank God it's Friday. Hello everyone, this is Don po again and welcome to the last day of our Devo on video on Psalms chapter 139. In the past few days, we talked about God's omni-attributes. He's omniscient, all-knowing. He knows you and me by name. He's omnipresent. He's present everywhere. God is with us all the time and you are really never alone. And God is omnipotent. It means all-powerful. He created you and me intricately in His image, and He has great plans for you. Knowing and understanding God's attributes will give us the right perspective on things, especially sa present situation natin. And for today's Devo, we'll be talking about David's response during the trials in his life. Come and join me as we read our verses for today. Psalms 139 verses 19 to 24. Oh, that you would slay the wicked, O God. O men of blood, depart from me. They speak against you with malicious intent. Your enemies take your name in vain. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? I hate them with complete hatred. I count them my enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. As I've mentioned in our first day, David's life was like an elevator. So it's up and down. And during this time, maraming umatahang enemies kay David. And here, David is fighting them in God's name. His enemies are also God's enemies. For example na lang po, si Goliath. So he is the Philistine giant who mocked God and the Israelites, God's army. And when David heard him shouting, tinanong niya, sino ba tong foreigner na to? Sino ba to para magsalita against the army of the living God? And as we all know, we know what happened next. David affirms that he is God's soldier and he will fight whatever is dishonorable to God. If we apply this in our current time, I'm sure marami tayo na experience every day because we are living in a sinful world. And if you watch the news, there are a lot of death, problems in society, wars, corruption, injustice, broken relationships, fights, and marami pang iba. And as Christians, we are told that this world is not our final destination. We know that everything is temporary and that one day, Jesus will return. But until that day comes, trials and tribulations will happen sa life natin. There will be pains, hurts, setbacks, but this doesn't mean hanggang dito lang ito. As I've mentioned earlier, nothing is permanent. And the only thing constant dito sa mundo is change. This means na kung ano man yung pinagdadaanan mo sa buhay, this too shall pass. Yesterday, I ended my Devo sharing that if there is still a struggle within you, God is not yet done working sa life mo. I'll admit that it's the same for me. I still struggle with sin every day. Naku, lalo na po kapag nagdadrive, nakaka-stress. But kidding aside, this is the reality, and this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we take up our cross and follow Jesus. Sabi nga po sa 1 Timothy 6, pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness. We make a conscientious effort every day to follow God's will sa life natin. And I think this is where we fall short sometimes. Not sometimes, but most of the time. We forget who God is. We forget what we live for, our purpose in life. We forget who we are, our identity in Christ. But you know what? In this world where nothing is permanent, there is something that is still permanent, and this is God's love for you. If you truly understand God's love for you, you know that He will never leave you nor forsake you. You know that He has the best plans for you. You know that He cares for you no matter what. You know that He wants to have a relationship with you. Kaya nga pinadala yung anak niya, kaisa-isa niya anak, to be the only way so we can have that relationship with Him. We need to understand that we only have one life. And David fully understands this. Kaya kinconclude niya po itong Psalm 139 by asking God, or praying to God, to search Him for any wicked ways within Him, and to test Him to show that He really is a man after God's own heart. He wants to live his life according to God's will. And in the same way, Let this be a reminder for us to keep consecrating ourselves because we are His special creation and His chosen people. Our response during tribulations reflect our understanding of God's attributes and, of course, our walk with God. On that note, di ba po kapag naglalakad tayo, di ba mas masaya po if may kasama tayo pag naglalakad? Minsan may dala tayong aso, minsan kasama natin yung kasama natin, yung friend natin, or yung significant other natin. But here at DCF Batangas, we would love to have this journey with you. And if God is calling you to reach out and join a growth group, please do so. We'll be more than happy to connect you. As I close, I just want to share this poem by Charles Thomas Studd. So he's a British missionary. He says there, "Only one life, yes, only one. Now let me say, thy will be done. And when at last I'll hear the call, I know I'll say it was worth it all. Only one life will soon be past. Only what's done for Christ will last." It has been a pleasure to have this Devo po with you, and have a great weekend everyone, and see you po on our next Devo on video.